I prepared for today. This is my first topic, my first talk, being a platform engineering ambassador from this amazing community and huge community about platform engineering that everybody is invited to participate. And I brought this topic about metrics behind this huge movement that everybody is talking about now, right? And also I want to connect the metrics of platform engineering initiatives with the art of Kaizen, something that comes from lean movement. And definitely it's something that can be applied in the platform engineering initiatives to help the teams that are maybe not achieving their goals or not seeing successful efforts. So who am I? To know a bit more about me, my name is Caio Medeiros. As I said, I just joined it during end of the last year, 2024. I joined the Platform Engineering Ambassador Program. I'm so glad to be there with some folks, some friends. I just started today, this week, actually, in TestCube. So a lot of things happening in my life. But basically, what I am, I am a student, a practitioner of some disciplines like DevOps, Lean, Platform Engineering. But also, I played a lot with cloud native things. Most of the technologies we can see in the CNCF landscape. I love open source, and I'm gonna bring all these learnings, my experience to share some highlights, practices, and uh, mindset that people should take in account when they are trying to go through the platform engineering initiatives. What I have prepared for today, I divided this in 4 phases, right? The first phase is it's a fact, platform engineering is speeding. We know that because we have a huge community with a lot of people talking about this. We have a lot of developers advocate as well, pushing this topic, talking about IDP, talking about APIs, and how platform engineering can help organizations to achieve their outcomes of winning in the marketplace. Also, we're going to talk about metrics, why they are needed and important behind this challenged path. And later we're going to talk about a bit about Lean, the tools, the principles, how to succeed with them, and finally be a key player, because you don't need to be a named leader or a manager inside the organization to make the difference. So let's see some numbers, because numbers never lie, right? I did some research before preparing all this material, and I found that the Grandview research, they prepared a report with data between 2017 and 2017 and 2030, about platform engineering. And there you can find the idea of this report. You can Google it. You're going to find that they realized that the market size of platform engineering in 2023 was around $505 billion, right? And they are expecting, based on the findings, that this will be growing exponentially from 2024 to 2030, around to 23.07%. So it's something that will not stop now and probably will not stop in the future. It's not something that will be replacing some of the movements that was impacting the IT world, like Agile, DevOps, SRE, and even AI, which is appearing a lot now. It's just something that is supporting these initiatives that have been working in the IT world, and definitely showing the impact, because more and more the skills of platform engineers are being requested. Even when in the last State of Platform Engineering report, the volume 3, released or sponsored by Human Tech, Gitpod, and StackGen, they realized, based on the information they gathered from more than 400 engineers, that behind platform engineering initiatives, there are a lot of different skills or different roles But more and more platform engineers are being named to participate in this, and they are being sick in the marketplace. So we'll see a lack of prepared professionals in the marketplace to lead with all the initiatives we're going to see in the big, small, and medium companies. The keys of success for this, basically, it's already visible. You can go directly to platformengineering.org. You're gonna find a lot of recordings, videos. You can join PlatformCon this year to know more about that. But definitely, there are a lot of materials already showing and explaining how you can succeed, at least in the how you can start in the platform engineering initiatives. The first approach is platform as a product, something that was coined by the authors of Team Topology, the book that also defined what is a platform team, and helps a lot to understand how this must be designed inside the organization, how the teams should be working together. But it demonstrated already that it's one of the keys, because your customers will be in the middle and you will be building a product for them. It's not just another technology inside your company. If you don't have that mindset, if you don't follow that approach, probably you will not be able to win in front of many other technologies we can see around the development teams or engineering teams. Also, another thing that is important that you can see also in all these recordings and talks from amazing thought leaders is the concept of starting small with a minimal viable product or platform, and also the concept of tiniest viable platform to really put the effort on something that you can test fast and fail fast and understand if that is the real platform engineering initiative you should be following inside your organization. And finally, discover first. A lot of teams started their platform engineering initiatives with an amazing idea, thinking this is the best platform we can have inside the organization. That's awesome, but do your customers really need it? Is that the platform that will solve their problems, solve their pains? And from those keys of success, we still have people that is failing or is struggling a lot with the platform engineering initiatives, let's say that way. And using the same state of platform engineering report, the volume 3, and I also took some words from the presentation of state of platform engineering from Luca Galante talk. In the beginning of this year, it was. He mentioned that these same metrics, right? He highlight the same metrics where platform engineering teams have more than 1 year old is 75% more or less of those teams, those platform engineering teams that is getting more maturity, right? They already started from more than one year. And from those, more or less, right, well, from the universe of people that was answering the survey, only 45.5% is feeling that they have some improvements. They are showing some improvements. It's visible for them, because some of them are not seeing any kind of improvement. Some of them are seeing they are not improving at all, and even they are going worse. And another 44% is not measuring. That can be related some way, right? Why from all these platform engineering teams and the initiatives they are doing for more than 1 year, why a huge part of them is not seeing visible improvements, and why this is connected, how this can be connected, because some of them are not measuring their process. And to even increase the problem here is how they are gathering the information, because any continuous improvement process is started by understanding where you are, right? And if you are not gathering the right information, probably you will not find that solution, you will not succeed with your initiatives. Just imagine you are in middle of a desert, right? And you don't know where you are. You don't have any kind of tool to know where you are and where you should go to finish this travel, right? So maybe it's a new amazing challenge that everybody is doing, but if you don't know where you are, you will never end the challenge, or even you can probably strongly fail this challenge. So it's something similar. And if we talk about metrics, the metrics that can help us to know where we are, right? Using these indicators, we will be able to identify our engineers, where our organization are today, and design some viable future, some viable point to define these goals behind the platform engineering initiatives. So since one of the keys of success I mentioned it before is discover first, I recommend to ask some of these questions I also found in some other reports I saw in the whole universe of platform engineering research. Do you know how the developers processes of your organization really are? Do you know what they are doing, right? What sources you are using for identifying these processes to understand how these processes are, and how you are using this available data, how you are measuring, because it's not just a matter of using raw data, right? In my last company before to join TestCube, I was in charge of whole metrics of the DevOps adoption journey. And we had a lot of different tools generating metrics, but at the end, we don't use all this raw data. We need to select wisely what we want to use to really have those indicators that will help us to succeed. And finally, which indicators, right, tell you where you are now. And going back to the same report I mentioned it before, right, the State of Platform Engineering Volume 3, just released some months ago. They realized that DORA metrics, the DevOps research and assessment metrics, is the group of metrics most used by the platform engineering teams that are measuring their process, right? 37% of them are using this metric. So it's so popular, not only in platform engineering initiatives, but also in DevOps initiatives, because it helps to measure mainly two things: productivity and stability. There are some other metrics that people is using behind their initiatives. Time to market is another thing that is important, because at the end, platform engineering, any kind of platform engineering initiative, will try to help developers or the engineers that are going through the software development lifecycle to speed up their flow, remove wastes, make the process more friendly to them, right? To help also some other initiatives inside the organization, to Agile to make the information visible, DevOps to remove the walls of confusion and automate some processes. So at the end, the time to market, the lead time is pretty connected with the efforts we can do. And we're gonna see that in some other metrics. This is more or less the most popular metrics I found behind the platform engineering research, right? We're gonna see it in different uh, segments, right? The product delivery is the first one. There we're gonna see some of the DORA metrics, the deployment frequency, the lead time to deliver, the mean time to restore, but also the developer productivity, something that is mentioned in several researches, which sometimes is difficult to measure, but there are some metrics we can use, specific KPIs we can use to identify how developers are performing, like how many features we are releasing, if the code is changing or not, right? From security and compliance perspective, we're gonna see that there is some metrics related to incidents, vulnerabilities, and resolution speed, stability, reliability, efficiency, and FinUp, something that is also beating a lot due the problem with the bills that companies are having with the cloud providers, right? It's just keeping their environments up and running all day, all night, and having some challenges when developers are creating all the resources they need. So all these different metrics will be there because they are impacting some part. They are showing how you are doing in some part of the software development lifecycle. So, but it can be a trap. It's not just a matter of taking all these metrics or saying, let's take this information and build a dashboard, because probably you're gonna see a lot of these metrics that will not help you at all at the moment where you are, right? So it's important to understand where is the different pains of your flow to really take profit of any platform engineering initiative, identifying the customer, the platform as a product again. And it's important to also understand that the customer behind any platform engineering initiative is, we are talking about persons, people, right? And people is always changing. And the process inside organizations should be changing as well. So use the right KPIs will help us at least to understand where we are, what kind of issues we can solve with platform engineering initiatives. So that's why I brought lean concept, lean movement with the principles on some tools I will show you today to maybe help you to use these old learnings. The lean concept and the principles and tools is pretty old, comes from Toyota framework. That started from manufacturing area, but now it's used in all the different organizations in the market, because all the organizations will have string values, value streams, right? And the software development lifecycle is a value stream. Identifying that, we are helping also the organization and the teams behind these initiatives, the continuous improvement mindset of these initiatives to have this product mindset. So the principles I want to highlight here is define value. So we need to understand where is the value of our initiatives, where we want to improve the process, map that value stream to understand how the process is, create that flow, the future state. It's a concept from value stream mapping, and establish the pool, how we will bring those continuous improvement ideas to the flow, to the process, to the engineers. And finally, pursue the perfection, because improvement never ends, right? We can say, okay, let's do an IDP with all these amazing features to make everything visible in just one page. And now the developers, they have a better onboarding. But what happens with the second day? What happens later when we need to apply some security patches for all the applications that is using the same template? There are a lot of things behind just the start of the process. There are a lot of things more to the left, sorry, to the right, or even more to the left of the flow that platform engineering can help to improve. And it will be changing always. That's why improvement never ends. And we need to have that in mind if we are trying to really be successful with any continuous improvement process like a platform engineering path. So which tools I brought to talk with you and maybe share the idea, and you can take it and use it in your organization, in your teams. The first thing is 5 whys. It's a practice that will help not only the people involved in the platform engineering team as platform team, but also the stakeholders to connect the idea of why we are doing this, right? Usually, platform engineering initiatives are strongly related to the same benefits I mentioned before: reduce the cognitive load of developers or engineers, speed up the flow from left to right, reduce the vulnerabilities, improve the time to market, right? But how we are connecting these outcomes behind the platform engineering with the other business outcomes, how they are connected between them. Maybe we can do, we use another tool, which is impact map, to understand what is the vision and mission of our organization and connect these different painfuls behind the customers of the organization with the platform engineering initiative using 5 whys. We can ask 5 times why we are doing this and connect the stakeholders with this initiative. Because if we have more people aligned inside the organization, more people participating actively with the platform engineering initiative, for sure you will have more probability to succeed. The other thing I have used a lot and I strongly recommend to do is the Gemba walk, right? I already saw platform teams. I also formed some platform teams in the past that they never talk with the developer. They were ops guys or QA engineers just trying to solve a problem they found in the flow based on assumptions, on their own feelings on how the process is. But they are not connecting the pains of other engineers working throughout the same cycle, the same flow. So it's strongly recommended to walk through the flow, talk with people that is really feeling the problems, that is really identifying those needs, and use that information to take profit. And from that Gemba walk, we will be also have more information to build the process map, the value stream map, which is the next tool. Using a value stream map or value stream management, it's not just a matter of mapping our process and understanding some metrics like the percentage of accuracy, the amount of actors working in one step or one phase of the flow. It's a matter of having a shared understanding of the flow and how using new tools and new ways of working behind the platform engineering initiative, we will improve this current state where we are today in this map to have a future state, a better future state. And finally, merge Kaizen mindset with the PDCA cycles. Adopt that mindset that improvement never ends. You can start with that platform engineering initiative, but it should not stop there with your first design, with the minimal viable product or platform, or the tiniest viable platform, right? You must look to the future. You must understand what is missing to achieve more customers. Inside huge companies, it's normal to have a lot of different teams using different tech stacks. So probably the platform engineering initiative in those kind of organizations will not be able to reach all the different users they can have, the different customers. So probably you're going to start enabling for some specific kind of tech stack, and later when you have a success case, expand this to other tech stacks. I already saw this kind of good examples in one of the companies where I worked, and definitely it makes the difference. And the important part there of using this approach of continuously growing and have the mindset of improvement never ends is share this mindset and ensure that the high management of the organization that maybe sometime can use this platform initiative as a mandatory goal for all engineering teams, ensure that they are aligned that this is a process that will be reaching more and more of the different landscape type of the teams inside the organization. It's not a matter of being able to reach all of them. Just an example, the platform team I saw in one of the companies I worked, they built up an amazing platform, internal development platform, simplifying the whole process of managing the life cycle of a product. But that platform was not enabling the blue-green deployment for teams. So a bunch of teams that was implementing that were not able to use the platform just because that specific component or that specific feature was not there. So it's a continuous improvement, and improvement never ends. It's something that must be in mind. And use all these tools and the mindset, right, principles of Lean to find the 7 wastes of Lean software development, right? Because identifying the wastes in the flow will help us to really connect which indicators we can use to reduce that giant dashboard I showed before, right? To have just a specific metrics in specific indicators and focus on them to really have improvements in the short term. Another thing I have saw in the past with some platform teams is high management and middle management just enforce some goals with data metrics, as an example, trying to reduce the change failure rate to a percentage that was not even achievable for some teams because the applications was not releasing, some applications were not releasing so frequently. So any deploy in the year increase their change failure rate. So it's important to understand how the process is for the focus customers, and also understand which kind of wastes we want to remove behind the platform engineering initiative and the platform we are building up. So some practices behind the tools I shared and how to use those tools. You don't need to be a leader, a manager. You can be just another collaborator inside the platform team or even the engineering team. You can talk with the platform engineers inside your company and share this with them, right? The first thing is make your work visible, right? And we can use tools like value stream mapping to make the work visible, to understand where my platform can be useful, where my customers will need my platform. And we can use some other tools as well to generate alignment inside the organization. The 5 whys, making this the result of using these tools visible will help not only the platform engineering initiative, but also it will help some other initiatives that can be connected inside the same organization. Building up information radiators, right? Making the information visible to everyone. Next one is business outcomes, right? There are a lot of platform engineerings that focus only on IT outcomes, IT goals. They have a specific IT technical requirements and technical expectations, but they are not connecting these specific goals with the real benefit behind them for the organization, how this initiative will impact the organization, the business of the organization. Because at the end, it's not a large list of companies that are delivering. Their product is a platform itself. And even when those organizations exist, they need to work customizing that platform to make it useful for organizations that will be their customers. So even then, those organizations or platform engineering teams must align their goals with the business goals of the whole company. That way, even middle management, which was a roadstone in some of my processes in the past, and some of the adoption journeys I delivered in the past, the middle management was a problem, a blocker, because sometimes they are pushing to other side, to the business side, and they are not connected at all with some technical requirements or technical definitions from the architecture team, as an example. And finally, the inner source is something I discussed a lot with my friend Francisco Meneses in the last KubeCon in Salt Lake City, when we were there seeing all these thought leaders sharing a lot of their knowledge. The inner source is something super important, mainly because platform teams, they cannot manage everything. It's normal that inside middle and big and huge companies, we will have different kind of customers with different needs. So the inner source is a way to make the platform more near to the customer and ensure that the platform will be filling their needs, supporting their needs, but not just enabling it, right? And not just offering this as an option, but also ensuring that it works, right? Every time trying to check that the inner sourcing is being used and we are receiving feedback, we are receiving some kind of return from the customers that are trying to use our platform. And finally, what I recommend to try to avoid behind the use of metrics with platform engineering initiatives, the misaligned goals. If you just take indicators because someone else is using those indicators, those metrics, probably some lines of management inside the organization will use those metrics at some moment to generate specific outcomes, specific goals, right? And this can generate some disconnection with other goals of the other managers inside the company. So some people will be pushing with their seniority to one side when the platform engineering initiatives are going to other side. So this is super important. Align the indicators, help high management to use these indicators and not enforce specific or BSS goals behind these indicators, like the example of change failure rate I mentioned it before. The other one is GN steps. Avoid those GN steps. As I mentioned it before, one of the keys of success is start small, but keep growing small, right? If you just do a big step, probably we learned that from Agile as well, right? Sometimes we are doing some hypotheses that will not be useful, some feature that really will not impact our customers. So if you go step by step using small hypotheses, using the information you can gather from the tools I shared, the link tools, you will be able probably to have failures for sure, but also some successful initiatives. And finally, lack of data decisions, right? I have saw a lot of people failed because they just took decisions based on the experience and assumptions. And I will not say that people don't have enough experience to take decisions inside any kind of initiative. We have a lot of senior and principal engineers in the market inside different organizations. But when you just base your decisions on experience, past experience and assumptions, the probability of succeed is reduced, right? Because maybe you are in a different company, maybe you are working with another kind of customers, or you have a small bunch of customers that will not use your platform, or even will have a bad feedback of your platform because it's not helping at all. So use the data wisely, gather data before taking any decision, and avoiding these three things for sure will help to use well the metrics you can select, because I showed a lot of metrics before, right? But not all them will be useful for all of you in your platform engineering initiatives. Maybe today in your platform engineering initiative, you want to measure how we are helping with the security and compliance aspects. But maybe in the future, in another company, you will need to focus on product delivery. So it depends a lot on which is the product you are building up, what is the customers you are focusing on, and use the data wisely to select the right metrics. So thank you. It's time for some questions. I'm running out of time to give enough time to everybody to ask. So before to go into the questions, just feel free to connect with me. Here is my LinkedIn, and also you can find me in the platform engineering community. So now, I don't know, Olivia, if we have some questions, we can go through them.
Yes, thank you so much, Caio. So jumping into questions, guys. So pop them into the chat or the Q&A, please. We're going to give it a minute.
I think there is one question here
Yes.
from Sebastian.
Yes.
No?
Do you have practical examples of relevant metrics from the platform engineering world?
It's a good question. There are several metrics I have used. The most popular one is DORA metrics, right? Because with 4 metrics, you can measure the throughput and also productivity and the reliability or stability of your production environment, because there is where you see value for the company, not in development environment, not in QA environment, it's in production. Right? That's why several companies are using DORA metrics to measure their improvements behind these initiatives. But as I mentioned it before, not all platform engineering initiatives are the same, right? Sometimes we're gonna have a platform product inside the company trying to solve security problems and security standards that some teams are not following, right? So there you can change the approach of productivity and reliability to how secure is your flow, how secure is the product that the teams are releasing to production. So how many issues are being reported in production, how many of those issues are coming from development phase, right? And things like that. You're gonna see some other metrics in the slides I'm gonna share, but definitely it depends a lot on what is the business case behind your platform as a product.
Okay, next question. Barry, can you give me what you believe is ideal ratio from business to engineers to platform engineers?
The ideal ratio. Uh, Let me check if I understood this. The balance between the skills from business and platform. Well, I think any product team should be a multidisciplinary team, right? And I believe a lot that those multidisciplinary teams should have T-shaped people, right? So inside the team, having one or two persons with the business mindset, with a product mindset, that can help the other engineers to develop that generalist perspective of product inside the team should be enough, because the tasks behind the business part of being of a platform initiative is something that should be shared inside the whole team. So everybody inside the team should be able to reach the customer, the engineers inside the organization, talk with them, receive the feedback, right? But the specific skills, right, this expertise in business, this expertise in platforms should be balanced inside the team with one or two, maybe depend on the size of your team, but at least have two persons inside your team which has a deep expertise on the business part of the platform engineering initiative. And at the same time, these T-shaped people with expertise in business share this knowledge and the skills with the rest of the team, making them part of the things they are doing, right? Maybe doing some pairing, shadowing will help them to develop and generate more generalists in business at the same time as the engineer should be doing the same thing with the business experts, generating them the generalist skills of engineering.
Okay, next one. Dario is asking, how can we monetize in a business plan this security compliancy with respect adoption of Golden Path?
It's a great question, right? Sometimes it's hard to monetize fastly any platform engineering initiative, right? Because, well, it will always depend on the size of your organization and how much you are improving removing wastes, right? But in from security aspects, what I have saw is depending on the frequency the teams are moving today security issues to production and how this is affecting in the stability and reliability of the platform, is how you can measure and monetize the impact of implementing a tool that will reduce that risk and even reduce the cognitive load. How many time your engineers, your developers, is spending on fix vulnerabilities, on fix security issues on in their applications, in their systems, right? So there are two metrics, two informations you can gather. First is what is the amount of security issues you are facing in production or vulnerability alerts, and how much time developers are spending on solve them, right? You can use any of these two metrics to monetize because you have the ROI, the return of investment you can have in production because your service is failing in production due to some vulnerabilities or security issues. And even you have the CapEx, which is how many time of your engineers that should be creating new features, new improvements in your applications, they are spending on solve vulnerabilities and security things. And it can definitely be solved with the golden paths if we have the right tools to shift left security, and also how we manage this in the second day in advance. It means after a developer or an engineer select your code path and start using those tools, start using that code base, how you will be bringing from a platform team, from a platform, that security support once it's already in use, the golden path, right? It's something I mentioned it before, that platform teams must take in account. I had a conversation with Victor Fabric in the same KubeCon I went last year, and he highlighted that how platform teams are really taking care on these golden paths to work with the security and upgrade part once the golden path is already in use.
Okay, and another one from Madeline. How have you helped others in a company understand the value of a platform engineering team or investing in platform as a product?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah. How
Sorry.
have you helped others in the company understand the value of a platform engineering team or investing in platform as a product?
Okay.
So some
Well,
tips.
some tips. Well, the first thing I have used is some of the tools I mentioned it before, right? To really generate alignment on how any initiative can help an organization, you first must generate a shared understanding, an alignment behind what people see, behind the process, behind an improvement you are proposing to have, right? If you just say to your managers, I want to have an ADP because everybody's doing ADP, right? Probably you will not have that support you need to have or the budget to create your IDP. But if you see it from another perspective and you understand that maybe your developers, they are not fixing vulnerabilities, or they are spending too much time on board. Something I shared in one of my talks as well is the creation of environments, right? There are some companies, they don't have an easy process to create ephemeral environments where developers can do a POC and prepare a migration, right? So if you look from the pain of your customers, will be easy to support any idea, and it will be even easy to identify the specific metrics, because managers and the owners of the money inside any company, they will understand better with numbers, right? If you just use assumptions or base it on how people is feeling the process is, or the improvement can be, probably it will be hard to really and make them understand that the benefit of doing this. So I strongly recommend do this. First, gather the information, right? Identify which is your focus customer, put them in the middle, and do some Gemba walks with them. Understand how is the process, build that process map, and identify those wastes in the flow, and use those wastes to say, okay, we are here today, and we can be here tomorrow if we implement this amazing platform, right? Or if we build up an IDP that will join all the different technologies we are using into just one single page, right? Things like that. But definitely, I would recommend to, instead of using ideas or projects that we can see in the market that was successful in another company, understand why they did that and why they were successful.
Okay, next one. How do you apply Agile Manifesto 12 principles to platform engineering, which requires robust architecture?
Yeah, it's a huge challenge. Even from my perspective, it's a huge challenge to apply agile in any environment where you need to scale it, right? I have discussed this with a lot of agilists, saying that they don't like safe, they don't like less, they don't like all these frameworks or methodologies to scale agile. And when we are talking about platform engineering, even when should have product team behind that platform. Sometimes the platform can grow enough to be a complex system where if you don't manage it well, the architecture and the design of the platform, it would be hard to manage all the different principles and values of Agile there. So one thing I recommend is don't blame too much on have all the 12 principles or all the values, the rules of Agile applied into your platform engineering team or the platform engineering initiative. It's actually Agile. It's about continuous improve. It's continuous change your way of working. Obviously, the principles should be there, but definitely you don't need to do everything at the same time, right? And having at least these small steps I mentioned it before and understanding how you are doing now, you will be able to say, okay, I need to apply this principle, right? And I think part of this recommendation is have uh, a leader inside the team that has this perspective that you just you need also to improve what you have inside your team, not only what you are improving outside of your team, because a lot of platform engineering teams, they are just focusing on improve how developers and engineers they are doing, but they don't pray uh, what they preach, right? Basically is that have a leader that and how we can prepare those leaders. Of what I did in the past is set outcomes related to that, right? How my team is performing as team more than just my platform, how it's performing as platform.
Okay, and we've got one more in the chat here. Dora talks about how successful a team is on top of your platform. But what about the platform? Are there any metrics to measure exclusively from the platform perspective?
Yes, it depends on how what you can want to measure, right? The platform as a product, you can measure how many features you are releasing, what is your the deployment frequency of these features. There are a lot of perspectives of the platform we can measure, and again, don't try to put everything in the eye or in the screen, because you're gonna have that same dashboard I showed in the meme, where you have a lot of numbers, but you don't understand what all these numbers are, and even sometimes they are generating some loss of focus because you are measuring too much, right? So Dora metrics definitely will help to understand, depending on what is the scope you are measuring, because data metrics can be used also to measure how the platform team is performing. But again, the platform perspective will be related on the business case of the platform, right? If the most common platform business cases is the IDP, to reduce the cognitive load of developers. This is the most popular projects we have seen in platform engineering initiatives. So there, you're gonna see that we want to reduce the developer cognitive load. How we measure the cognitive load of the developers. Some of these processes are focusing on put all the platforms together in one single page, right? Like using Backstage to put all the different links to my platforms in one single part, or even helping the architecture teams to be able to search by applications in a catalog, right? So to measure that, it will depend on your customer and the business case, right? And for those specific cases I mentioned, right, the developers' cognitive load or developers' productivity, I have used the time to code, the time from a new joiner entered to the company, and when the person did the first commit, right? I have used how many technical depth new joiners are implementing, are pushing to the code base, right? Using the merge of SonarQube, the code versioning system, and things like that. And from an architecture perspective, is how much time, sorry, an architect spends to find an application, right? and also how many applications I have inside the company with the same function, right? And it's more normal to see this in big companies, where you have a lot of applications doing the same thing, right? If you don't have a visible place to see all these applications, it's normal to have people creating APIs that do the same. So you can use these different metrics to measure the platform perspective depending on the business case. And if you want to know more about other business case, if you have your specific business case, you can reach me out in the platform engineering community. There is a Slack, we can talk specifically to your case.
Yep, and that is all the questions.
Awesome.
Guys, do you have any other questions? We've got 1 more minute. Mm, okay, I think that is us, Caio. Yes, thank you so much for the talk, and thanks everyone for the patience. I know you were seeing double during the webinar, but we made it work. I'm going to be sharing everything with you tomorrow. Caio, well done. You can work under
Thank you.
pressure. Extra points for our ambassador. Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much,
and
everyone. Thank you so
yeah,
much,
thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Have a good day.